Hello, and a very warm welcome to the late-breaking F1 podcast presented by Harry Eade, Sam Sage, and me, Ben Hocking. We're back for a preview, Austrian Grand Prix coming up this weekend. I'm just, first of all, glad because we, as you know, if you listen to the last two episodes, we recorded both of last week's very early on in the week. Hoping there wasn't going to be any massive news throughout the rest of the week. I think by and large, Sam, we did all right.
I mean, what happened last week? Who knows? It's a blip in the mind. I like to think that we've just moved on. No news exists. So now we're back. All the news will happen because the F1 world always gives us the news when we want the news.
I mean, this is happening on a Tuesday currently as we record this, and Lewis Hamilton's definitely going to sign tomorrow on Wednesday, isn't he? It's going to be announced.
He's going to do it. I know he's going to do it.
And we'll add him to the list with Andretti. And I think, and Bottas. I think it was on the list currently.
A few naughties.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also, for people watching this, I'd like to introduce Standing Sam.
Hello, everyone.
It's the evolution of 3T Sam.
Yes, I've had to stand because I'm at home. And the only way I can record the video, if you're watching YouTube, hello, YouTube, is...
We're getting side angle Sam.
Yeah, I'm over to this side over here. So I can either look at the camera or I can look at the guys.
You look like you're going to start presenting a TV show.
I should be presenting a TV show, to be honest.
Sam was really keen to do this.
Sam was not, says the narrator. We've got some things to shout out, though, before we get into the podcast, haven't we?
We do. Harry,
Yeah, boy.
you doing anything next Wednesday?
Let me just check the iPad. No, wait, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah, check your iPad, mate. Get the calendar up.
I, and me, and you, as in Sam and Ben, and also Kirsty, who's not on camera, we're going to be at the Williams fan zone. Yeah, good one, lads.
You've got control of the soundboard, so if you wanted something there, that was on you.
Let me try that again. Next Wednesday, we're going to be at the Williams fan zone. Woo! Yes, that's right, folks. We are going to be doing our British GP preview episode live from... it's not going to be live streamed.
Alex Live!
But it's recorded. It will be recorded
live.
at the Williams GP...
Oh, my God. I'll let Harry ever do this again.
At the Williams fan zone in London in Piccadilly Circus. So if you want to find out more details, go to... Williams' social channels and their website. It's all on there. We've also reposted it for on our social channels. And we're going to be there all day. We're going to be hanging out, asking you lot what your bold predictions are. If you want to come down and meet us and you're in the area, please do. Please.
Very excited to meet you. So I think it's 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. We'll be there.
Correct, Mundo.
As you mentioned, Sam's wheeling away his chair.
You're going to need that again later. You're not standing for the whole podcast. All right, fine.
As you mentioned, though, the event's happening all week. So, even if you can't see us on the Wednesday, which we definitely want you to do, if you can't make that day and want to get down there another day, you can do. A lot of exciting things going on.
But
please do come down Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday the best
Wednesday's the
day.
We're there all day. You can come and give us a hug and have a photo.
Also, and I'll tease this because it may not happen, but we may reintroduce a very old feature, an OG feature. I don't think has it been on the podcast ever?
Yeah, once or twice.
There you go. Very old feature. So if you're an OG fan, this could be a very exciting day for you.
Also, well, moving on from the Williams fans, which is very exciting. Please come down and see it. Speaking of merchandise, which if you're watching on the video, you can see that I am wearing. Sorry, the mic was in the way for this camera. We nearly got banned from our merch site because we tried
broadcast that, yeah.
Because we tried to create the free Leclerc merch, which I must admit does show Charles Leclerc in a prison cell. But, it's all good fun. We can't sell it on there. So if you are a merch creator and you want to do a limited edition run of merch for us and you're interested in buying the merch as well, then get in touch because I'd like to sell it and I think it's fun. Yeah. But we're not allowed to do it on our normal merch site.
As Sam said, all good fun, bit of defamation, all good fun.
We love him though, don't we, really? That's the point.
Yeah.
Save Leclerc. We'll move on because we've got Austria Preview to go on about now. With the exception of Australia, which, as you might remember, had a safety car just one lap from the end, the closest battle all season for the lead in terms of a Red Bull versus another team was in Canada last time out. The gap was just under 10 seconds. We now head to Austria, where historically Red Bull have done pretty well. Max Verstappen has a total of 4 wins at the Red Bull Ring, including a Styrian Grand Prix as well from a few years ago. Having said that, Charles Leclerc did win this race last year. So, Sam, do you think the gap is going to be bigger or smaller than what we saw at Canada?
I'm going to jump straight to the point here. I'm going to go with bigger. I like to think that, if you're going to go where is the ultimate boss, Red Bull end of level boss, it's the Austrian Grand Prix. It's where they kind of get to, size up, and they've got like a triple health bar, and you can't defeat them. They're so good around the Red Bull Ring. It's named after them, for example. They're brilliant in the straight lines. They're great with.
There's why it's named that.
Yeah, it's named that because they're so good. With the DRS, they are simply supreme. Their Red Bull powertrain, designed by Honda, is so good at the top end that I just think that this track suits them down to the ground. And the few corners that Austria do have really tend to suit the package that Red Bull put together. Plus, Max Verstappen absolutely loves it here as well, which helps. And I reckon that Sergio Perez has got less corners to get things wrong. So overall, I think it's looking pretty promising for them. I would love to tell everyone we're going to be closer. We're going to have the best race. We're going to be fighting up the front. I just don't believe it's going to happen.
You reckon we're back into double figures?
I reckon we might be closer to the most dominant performance from Red Bull so far this season.
Well, Sam, much like you've been with bold predictions for most of this year, I hope you're wrong.
So do I.
Harry, would you agree with him, though?
I'm going to be optimistic, Harry.
Oh, God, now we got no chance.
Look, I think it's going to be bigger than Canada, smaller than Spain. The gap, though, it's not the countries.
Physical country size.
Because Austria is... Look, there's not many corners at Austria, but it's kind of Bahrain-esque in maybe a slightly more extreme way in the layout of it. So I think it's going to be closer, but I don't think, as you say, I think Canada was an exception to the rule in terms of distance behind the Red Bulls. But we are potentially set for wet weather again because we just have wet weather at all races now. And also, don't forget, lads, best weekends of the year. It's a sprint race weekend.
I actually forgot a couple of days ago, and then I remembered.
Sam, we're never taking you off a chair again. This is a nightmare.
I had a great time. I'm always going to stand up.
So, arguably some variables in there which may help things along. But yeah, I think it's not going to be quite as severe as Sam is suggesting here, just because of you think back to Bahrain, and Ferrari and Aston Martin were closer than they were after Spain. So I'd like to be optimistic about it and say that it's going to still be relatively close.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I kind of hope that's true, but I don't know about that.
I don't know.
My instinct is the gap will be bigger again. For the record, if Red Bull can go through this season and say that their bogey race was a race they won by 9.5 seconds, you're having a pretty good year. Like, that's going all right for you. But my instinct here is, for the reasons you've given, the full throttle percentage being quite high, I think it should suit Red Bull. And whilst I might absolutely detest the fact that we are going into another sprint weekend after we've had multiple brilliant qualifying sessions over the last 6 weeks, Red Bull might not think the same because, hey, if Sergio Perez doesn't perform that well in qualifying, as has been the case a few times this year, he's given 25% more time available to get that back in the race. He's just given himself an extra, however many laps that works out at, like 20 laps, to get back to the front. So that is a positive for Red Bull. I usually say in most instances, more variables is worse for the best team. But here, I just think more race time where the Red Bull is strongest is better for them. So My instinct is the gap will be bigger, but I hope I'm wrong. In terms of Sergio Perez, do you think that because this is a track that Red Bull have typically gone well at, Sam, that this is a good opportunity for him to regain his confidence?
I mean, it's the minimum that he needs to do is regain his confidence. He needs to be up there again, picking up a podium at least, but, not necessarily right behind Max Verstappen, harrying him across the finish line at the end of the race. But he needs to be the only person close enough that, if something went wrong, Sergio Perez is picking up the points. He's picking up the victory. Max Verstappen has such a supreme dominance at the moment across Formula One that I think that, saying that he's going to get close to Max is a little bit ridiculous. But rebuilding confidence, what is that aim? What would you clarify that aim as? Is it getting a podium? Is it beating the Mercedes and the Aston Martin? Is it simply fighting for a podium for the whole race? It's hard to know when his form has been so bad. For me, qualifying inside the top 4, that's if Verstappen's on pole and the Red Bull is working as it should, of course. And finishing comfortably on the podium is probably a bare minimum and what he needs to start achieving. Does that rebuild his confidence? I don't know. A result that rebuilds his confidence for me is very close to Max in qualifying, challenging Max for the entire race. That's confidence building. That means you got your mojo back. So he needs to go above and beyond because it's been very, very poor and there's been a lot of chatter on social media about who's coming in to replace Sergio at the end of the season. It's not looking too positive for the Mexican driver.
Harry, do you think this can, at the very least, be a confidence starter for Perez after the last couple of difficult results?
Yeah, I think it can be. I was just trying to think about Perez's record around Austria.
Well, I don't want to spoil what I was going to say.
Oh, right.
Doesn't have a podium here.
No, I was going to say I can't remember him being on the podium. So that doesn't bode well. But did he break down last year, or was that Sainz? Anyway, irrelevant. It's, as Sam's already said, less corners to get wrong, and this should be a strong track for them. So I know you said, Ben, about the more track time, the better for the Red Bulls. I guess for Perez, who's Achilles' heel at the moment, has been qualifying. Even if he balls his qualifying up, at least he's got the... Oh, no, because it doesn't work like that anymore, does it? Never mind. Ignore what I was about to say.
Special qualifying.
We have special sprint shoot. It's a shootout.
It's a shootout. I've got my tummy out on camera. Sorry, everyone, for the nudity.
I completely forgot about the sprint shootout. That is... Oh, my word. I hate sprint weekends.
It's so bad.
It's so miserable.
Anyway, so all my points I was about to make are completely irrelevant. But look, I think it's going to be a stronger weekend for Perez. The Red Bull's going to be stronger here. I guess the rain may, if it rained, you said, I think this is the last podcast you said to Ben, or maybe 2 podcasts ago, Perez just needs a dry weekend. Real plain, boring one. But at the moment, it looks like he might not get one. So that could throw a spanner in the works. But he does need, whether he'll get it or not, but he does need that confidence boost because we've seen it happen before with drivers in that second seat at Red Bull, Albon, Gasly. It doesn't take a lot for that sort of spiral downwards to I don't know, speed up, escalate. And then you're really under pressure. And at the moment, Perez isn't helping himself, so he needs that confidence boost sooner rather than later. I think he will have a better weekend here, just because of the nature of the track. But he really needs it. It
says how bad he is or how bad he is being at the moment if we are comparing him to Albon, Gasly, considering that they were essentially rookies when they were both in that seat in a car that wasn't a race-winning car, and yet we're giving him the same comparison. It just feels like he's almost getting a get out of jail free card for that.
I don't want to give him the same comparison because he's clearly done better than they have in that second seat. But my point being is that the pressure that I guess comes from the Red Bull management, just Helmut Marko, that comes with the Red Bull management. It is a lot, and if it starts to go wrong, it seems like when it does go wrong, it just continues to go more wrong until you've lost your drive. So Perez needs a good weekend to snap that, snap out of it, break that streak of bad races.
Yeah, I feel like that is the most important thing here. In that, yes, he would love to be qualifying second and challenging for the lead and only being 3 seconds off at the end. Let's say that would be great. realistically, he just needs something to stop what's been happening over the last few weeks. 2 solid qualifying results would be great for him. 2 Q3 appearances, let's say 2 top 5. Even that is a step in the right direction. I feel like Austria couldn't have come at a better time for Perez and Red Bull, because it is such a good track for them. The rain isn't going to help, I don't think, if that does end up materializing. But yeah, I think the track itself is probably what he needs right now. But to the point that I spoiled for myself, he doesn't have any podiums here, which is surprising given how much success Verstappen has had here. I appreciate that one of Verstappen's wins, I think 1 and not 2, did come when Perez wasn't in the second seat. But I think at least 2, if not 3 of those 4 wins from Verstappen have come when Perez has been in the same car. And we've seen he struggled. Was it last year or 2 years ago when he picked up like multiple penalties for driving people off the circuit? I'm trying to remember the exact race and what happened, but he struggled with penalties one year, and it hasn't been a great circuit for him. So I'm intrigued. I think it is. I think he just needs a solid weekend where nothing goes wrong and he can put together an okay result. Because if he can build on that in future races, then great. It just needs to stop the skid that he's been having.
Good use of skid.
Yeah. Underused word.
But also Formula One appropriate.
Bold prediction time. Sam.
BP123 with a sprint race on top of the...
That's vile, that.
How are we doing it on the sprint race now? I find it very confusing.
What bold predictions?
I'll have a think about that. We'll do bold predictions first, then who knows what we'll do for the other bit.
I'm really torn on bold predictions this week because there's a part of me that wants to take a bite out of the cherry that gave Ben a point last week and say that Albon's going to make it 2 in a row for the top 8. But you know what? That feels like a bit of a copy and paste, and I'm not a copy and paste kind of guy. So I'm going to say that with their new upgrades, McLaren are going to have 2 points finishes, both drivers in the points, in the main race.
I mean, McLaren will hope you're right.
They haven't got a fast car in a straight line, so I will be wrong.
Yeah, let's hope they've picked up some miles per hour.
I think that's quite bold.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
It's bold.
It's up there.
I'm enjoying this camera angle, by the way.
Yeah, it looked like you were just finger pointed to someone off screen there, like really cut. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm nailing you to that seat after this. This is you're never having it again.
What's your bold prediction, Harry?
My bold prediction involves Le Plan. You'll be pleased to know, Ben. So it won't be right.
Don't call him that.
Both Alpines are going to be in the top 7.
It's not bold.
What do you mean it's not bold? It's only happened once.
Yeah, but Ocon's been getting it almost every race.
Well, Gasly hasn't.
Gasly just had some problems.
You've got problems, mate.
I know, look at me. I can't stop moving.
2 Alpines in the top 7.
Yeah, fun.
This is where they have Azerbaijan all over again and completely fail. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. My bold prediction, what have I got here? Okay, in actual qualifying, the one that everyone actually wants, I'm going to say that there is just 1/10 separating the top 5 in quali.
1/10 for 5
1/10.
cars.
I think we get an incredible actual quali session, which makes everyone go, wow, quali's good, isn't it?
You know what's going to happen now? It's going to be like 1.5 tenths, and then in the sprint shootout, it's going to be a 10th.
No, I reckon it'll be
going to pop.
0.101.
Hey, I'm all right. I can afford a few misses here at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing all right.
I might just sacrifice my Twitter now, folks, quite frankly.
Right. Okay, let's do... How on earth are we going to do this? What's going to happen in terms of results?
Okay, I'll do it. Pole 1, 2, 3, sprint. Pole 1, 2, 3, main race is how I'm going to do it.
No, I don't. No. What did we do for the last one?
I can't remember. Stefano, sort it out.
Are we doing it? Shall we do it in the weekend order? Pole, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I'm doing a 1, 2, 3. I don't remember doing a 1, 2, 3 for the sprint last time.
Should we just discard the sprint race? Just pretend it doesn't happen.
We can't do that.
Yeah, no, I vote.
Right.
I was going to swear then. I almost swore. That was close. Yeah. Screw the sprint race. Pole 1, 2, 3.
The sprint race will happen. What about pole 1, 2, 3?
Okay. Order. We have dismissed the sprint race. Pole Max Verstappen. The wing. Sorry, folks. Producer Kursky's just typed in.
A note.
I think you just did pole the winner of a sprint race.
That actually makes sense.
Oh, yeah. So pole winner 1, 2, 3. That probably makes sense, right?
Pole winner. Pole 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that.
Pole winner. Pole.
Yeah, we didn't go into the 2 and 3 for the sprint race. That makes.
But we did do the sprint shootout poll.
Yeah.
Oh, this sucks.
Our brains.
This sucks.
This sucks so bad. Right, I'm going to do what producer
Verstappen wins everything.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, pole for sprint, Verstappen. Winner for the sprint, Verstappen. Pole for main race, Verstappen. Winner for the main race, Verstappen. Second place, Perez. Third place, Hamilton. Yeah, Verstappen.
For the sake of saving people 30 seconds of their life, I have what Sam said, but Alonso in third instead. What have you got, Harry?
Pole for the... Oh, God.
It's the word is sprint.
Yeah, but the qualifying for the race is on Friday.
On Thursday.
The first and media day. Pole. Pole for both qualifying for Verstappen, whatever. The winner of the sprint is going to be...
He's definitely thought about this.
Probably Verstappen. And then...
Probably.
I haven't thought about the sprint. And then the race, Verstappen, Alonso second, Perez third.
Cool.
I hate that. We're going to move on immediately.
That was disgusting.
That was absolutely vile. We're going to go and throw up in this break, but we'll be back very shortly.